We started out as a small farm, and I started working in the 60s because I was born in '59. We were mainly a grain and livestock farm. We had cattle and hogs. In 1972, we decided we would exclusively go to swine production, and we were one of the first to build hog confinement buildings in our area. A lot of people thought we were crazy when we did that. A couple of years later, we built our second one and doubled our herd, and everything's gone pretty well for us since then. Unfortunately, if any of you have buildings, you know they don't last forever. So the old home farm that we built in the 70s, we started taking those buildings down. We got our population up to 450 sow farrow to finish on that. We also have 3 semis we've spun off. We've grown our farm from about 400 acres to 2,300 acres. My brother, cousin, and I also spun off and started our own hog farm. It's called Apex Pork. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. With that. We started out as a 1,300 sow farrow finish unit. 7 years later, we doubled it, and we have 2,600 sows. So far, things have been pretty good this year. Right now, the market's not great, but that's the way it goes. You can't have good years every year. If we did, everyone would be able to do this job. That's why we're good at what we do, because we love it. And we get out there and we work hard, and we have good business skills because we learn from other good people around the area that have good management abilities, and we do that ourselves. But what separates me from my opponents is the fact that I was on the Knox County board for 11 years. I was a finance chairman for Knox County for 9 of those 11 years. When I first got on the board, we were borrowing money against future tax revenues. When I took over as finance chairman, the first thing I did was go across the board cuts, and we quit borrowing money. In my 9 years, we never borrowed a dime. We had a balanced budget every single year, and that was something I was very proud of. That gives me the distinction from them. I have the ability to read and write budgets. I also have the ability to look at line items and know where they are misappropriating funds and where we can make changes. Excuse me. I also was the contract negotiator with the unions. That was a challenging job, but I was able to work with them, get contracts signed that were able to keep all the employees, provide all of our necessary services, and make sure the employees felt like they were being treated fairly. That was went a long ways toward helping balance our budget. We were not being held up by the special interest unions out of Chicago, which makes it a lot easier. You don't have that problem here either. The special interests sometimes get in the way. But that gives me the separation from my opponents, as I have the experience to do that. I've done it, and when I get to Springfield, I'll be able to start working right away. I won't have to get my feet wet, figure out what to do. I know how the process works, and I can get in there and start working. So therefore, I think I'm going to be able to provide the most effective leadership through the experiences that I've gained working not only as a farmer, but on the Knox County board.